The following is a presentation of the Eagles Sports Network.
This is SeeingEagles.com. I'm the voice of the Eagles Adam Cavalier alongside Carson-Newman men's basketball coach Chuck Benson. Chuck, we take a look at the 2016-17 men's basketball schedule today, and boy, what a challenging start right out of the gate. Hillsdale really good, LMU really good, Lander the defending Peach Belt Conference champions. Not to mention, you could face a Kentucky State or a Kentucky Wesleyan or Winona State in the first 6 games of the season. What sticks out to you about the degree of difficulty of this year's slate?
It's like you said. I mean, before we're able to digest turkey, we've taken on Murderer's Row. So we're throwing our guys out there, and I think it's going to be interesting to see how we respond. I don't think it's going to be a situation where we can take anybody for granted, that we can just show up and play. We've got to make sure that we every minute of every one of those type of games, we've got to bring it.
Last year, you kind of got to settle your feet at home a little bit to start out the season. This year, not the case. You're on the road at the SAC Peach Belt Challenge, taking on Lander and Southern Wesleyan to start the year, and then you hop over to Owensboro for the Kentucky Wesleyan tournament, not to mention some contests with LMU and UVA-Y sandwiched in there as well. What does being on the road do to your team to start this season?
Well, I think we choose to look at that as a positive. It gives us a chance to get out of our normal routines, to sort of isolate ourselves on the road and in hotels and spend some extra time together and maybe sort of formulate a closer bond. So I don't think we choose not to look at it as a negative. It's more of a positive for us, and our kids. I mean, our guys know too. They know that we open up those first 3 weeks, and it's going to be really challenging. But I think that's why I've seen a really good commitment out of them in the preseason. I thought this was as good a preseason as we've had since I've been the head coach here, and now we're just getting it rolling with regular season practice, and knowing that we have basically a month here before we get going. I really think that our guys will make the natural progressions and will be ready come November 11.
And that ignores a game against Johnson C. Smith that you have after jumping into conference play for a moment. What did you do or try to do with this non-conference schedule to set your team up for success?
Well, the South Atlantic Conference is tough, and you've got the Lincoln Memorials, Queens, Wingate, Catawba, and I can go on and on. It's every night in the South Atlantic Conference, it's a challenge. Great players, great coaching. But we wanted to make sure that we played a full Division II slate, and that we challenged ourselves. We want to try to be the best team we can be come postseason, but we also want to make sure that we you want to win every game if at all possible, and perform enough to win every game. But we want to do that and do it against good competition. We're not throwing cupcakes on that thing and just sort of like I said, we're not taking non-Division II teams, and we're staying true to sort of the recommendation. That's to keep it a D2 stocked schedule and let the chips fall where they may.
What's your assessment of the SAC this season, coming off of a year where LR, Queens, Wingate, LMU all made the round of 32 in the NCAA tournament, and LMU's coming off of a national title game appearance? Well,
last year was a historical season for the SAC, and I was really happy for those teams that really represented so well, and I think probably gave our league as a whole a greater respectability, at least within the region, if not nationally. Could it happen that again we have that kind of run? I guess anything's possible. I think it's hard to do. I mean, I got to think that within our region, the Peach Belt will be strong. Obviously, Conference Carolinas will be strong. And you never know in our conference like who's recruited who and what's coming back. But I think it is fair to say that the Lincoln Memorials, they're always there. Josh Shirt's teams are always a contender. Queens lost a lot, but they still got a solid little group coming back and have added some nice ones to it. Wingate and Catawba both, I think they're as talented and formidable as anybody anywhere. So it could happen. I guess time will tell.
If you had to pick one game for a Carson-Newman fan to be at Holt Fieldhouse for this season, what game do you want them here?
Well, I mean, obviously one of our primary rivalry game is Lincoln Memorial, and that'll be November the 22nd, I think, November 22nd.
That sounds accurate.
A Tuesday, and so that'll be a big night for us. We're hosting. Well, this year they come here first. We go there second, and I know our guys. We do quite a bit trying to educate our guys on who's the teams and the players, and so our old guys know. We try to educate our new guys and make sure they know, and so I think by the time we get to that date, I think our guys will understand the significance of that game.
Chuck, pleasure as always. Good luck this season.
Thanks, Adam.
That's Carson-Newman head men's basketball coach Chuck Benson. I'm the voice of the Eagles, Adam Cavalier, and this is CNEagles.com.